Coming up on Focal Point. Have you visited the zoo in the winter? Some of the animals are on ice, but they love it that way.
It's culinary art. I worked at Lansing Country Club in the kitchens.
Lansing's only comedy club is saved by the community. I'm Bria Crawford, and I'll have that story for you coming up.
This corner behind me is getting a new facelift later this year. I'll have more on that tonight on Focal Point.
The MSUPD is changing some things. Find out exactly what those changes are coming up on Focal Point.
And after 99 years, the Michigan State Swim and Dive dried up. But is it gone for good? Focal Point starts now.
Good morning, I'm Asia Lawrence.
And I'm Brian Goldsmith. Welcome to Focal Point.
It's a chilly Focal Point Friday morning at 17 degrees right now. And yes, you are waking up to another beautiful blanket of snow. Perfect weather for swimming, right, Brian?
Not exactly, Asia, but some students on Michigan State's campus keep diving right in. And the weather is definitely not the only obstacle they face.
It's been a long fight of lawsuits, petitions, and more for the MSU swim and dive team, which was cut by the university over a year ago. Focal Point's Maisha Johnson is live at I Am Circle with more on the story. Maisha?
Thanks, Asia. Yes, the MSU men's swim and dive team was active here at Michigan State for 99 years, but unfortunately that got cut in 2020. I'm here live with a former MSU swim and dive member, Sophia Salavi. She's currently swimming up the lane now. Even though the men's and women's swim team was cut, it seems to have brought their bond together stronger. Take a look.
All started here in the pool.
I work here a few days a week. And
Sophia Balo is very familiar with this swimming pool.
This is my job that I started in August just to kind of fill my time.
The same pool where she practiced on the MSU swim and dive team, but that's over.
For me, I just loved it because it's kind of like an escape for me.
Last year, MSU cut the entire swim and dive program. They said it was a financial decision.
It felt like the rug totally got ripped out from under us.
It was as shocking as diving into a cold pool.
It's a good day in the pool if Sophia doesn't have to save any lives. But by night,
she's swimming with her old teammates.
We missed it so much.
A way to sort of tread water until they can get the team back.
Since then, it's been like full steam ahead on obviously getting the team reinstated.
Peter Corsetti wants to be the leader if the team gets reinstated. Quick, did you see his left shoulder? It's a tattoo of a Spartan head. It means brotherhood.
You know, there's a sense of family.
A family who gets together for the fun of it.
I'm always hoping for the team to come back, and I will always stay ready until I graduate here, because I do want the team to come back, and I want to be ready for when it does.
They hope the men's 99-year tradition of Spartan swim and dive might someday reach 100.
there is some good news. However, the Title IX lawsuit that 11 members of the women's swim and dive team filed in federal court is now being sent back to the lower court to be reheard. In I Am West, I'm Maisha Johnson, Focal Point News.
MSU Safe Ride is a transportation service offered to on-campus students to safely get home at night. However, the university is struggling to find drivers. The Safe Ride program is funded by the Associated Students of MSU Tax, which is taken out of tuition. Each student is guaranteed up to 1 ride per day, 7 days a week. But since the pandemic, they've been short on drivers.
Well, I'm confident that if we just give a little bit more time, that this issue would be resolved. Currently, we're operating at 2 vehicles per week.
Anyone interested in becoming a Safe Ride driver can visit ASMSU's website at asmsu.msu.edu.
Safe Ride may be in need of some new workers, but MSU PD, on the other hand, has some new recruits that are breaking down stereotypes in the police force. Deborah Marshall has the story.
Meet Officer Clark, a recent graduate from Michigan State and an even newer recruit for the Lansing Police Department.
I wanted to be a police officer to first break the gender role barrier and show little girls that look like me that they're able to do this job as well.
When you think of a woman, a few words may come to mind. But do you ever think of police officer?
I wasn't for sure how my parents were going to take it.
Crystal Perry, Former MSUPD police officer and now their current HR manager, he says police work doesn't seem to be at the top of most women's career lists.
Because it is physical, because it has always traditionally been a role that men hold.
But in order to see the change, you must be the change. Like Captain McLaughlin Taylor, who was the first Black female police officer for the MSUPD and Lansing.
The reason I decided to go into it is because I didn't see a lot of other Black women or individuals like myself.
Individuals like herself and Officer Clark.
So we need to have officers that reflect our community so that our community feels comfortable and working with us.
Starting in March, in honor of Women's History Month, the MSUPD will begin promoting the 3030 initiative.
What that means is that by the year 2030, there are certain goals that will be met.
And that means increasing women in policing to 30% by 2030.
A lot of it is all about mental strength. So if you have the mentality, the correct mentality, and you're able to go in and have the I can do it attitude, then you will be able to get through anything.
From East Lansing, I'm Deborah Marshall, Focal Point News.
MSUPD has already hit the 30-30 initiative goal, with women making up 30% of their department. Their next goal is working on increasing the number of women in leadership positions.
East Lansing will be looking to replace one of its high school principals after he retires at the end of the school year. Andrew Wells has been the East Lansing High School principal since 2017, but his relationship to East Lansing High School is deeper than that. He not only attended the school, but when he worked within the school system for more than 30 years, Wells says it's a difficult and emotional decision to make after 33 years at ELPS, but he knows that it's time to move on to other opportunities.
Chapter in my life, and so I'm going to take the experiences that I've had along my journey to help me write the new chapter.
After retiring, Wells plans to take some time off to relax and enjoy his family.
If it passes, a new bill in Congress may make buying exotic pets a lot more difficult. A last-second change to the America Competes Act will ban the selling and buying of animals not on Congress-approved whitelist. Banned pets could include several types of birds, fish, and reptiles. The proposed change will impact a conservation law called the Lacey Act. The amendment will also ban transporting unimproved species across state lines, but despite the hardships, a local pet store owner is continuing to fight the amendment.
And what we're trying to do is rally a little support for taking that amendment, the add-on, back off so it could be given better consideration at a later time.
If the bill is approved, the Lacey Act amendment will take effect February 2023. Struggling to stay open is no laughing matter, especially for a local comedy club. Find out how they're trying to keep their punchlines rolling.
And a popular southern fast food chain is making its debut in Michigan. And lucky for us, it'll be right around the corner.
And you're looking at a live shot of the Beaumont Tower. We'll have your latest forecast and much more coming up.
If you're leaving a party, getting back from class late, or just need a ride, ASMSU offers a complimentary ride-share service for students. Students can download the Transloc app from the App Store. Select MSU as your transit system. All passengers are required to wear a mask. During service hours, click the blue button to request a ride. Ride requests can only be made to on- or off-campus housing. Please do not request a ride if you are feeling unwell or have been exposed to COVID-19 in the past 10 days. University Safe Ride programs are proven to reduce assault-related dangers and drunk driving. For more information, visit asmsu.msu.edu.
Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers has 600 locations across the U.S., but not one in Michigan. That's about to change. Focal Point's Nathan Stearns is live in downtown East Lansing, where Raising Cane's plans to make its debut. Nathan?
That's right, Brian. I'm actually standing right in front of where Raising Cane's will be located later this year. And I have to admit, I was really surprised when I found out that East Lansing, of all places, would be the host of the first Raising Cane's in the state of Michigan. And apparently, I'm not alone. Downtown East Lansing didn't look like this 2 years ago. Various restaurants and bars are a common staple, a Target, and now more change. A first for Michigan.
People are going kind of crazy about it. I think it's pretty cool that East Lansing gets to be the location of the first one in Michigan.
Ella Sines has been watching East Lansing grow. She works as a community development specialist for the city. And now she'll watch a Raising Cane's open up. It's the popular fast food chicken spot that will take a space somewhere on this block.
One day I woke up and had like 20 texts from people telling me there was a Cane's coming to Michigan, and I about lost my mind. I was so excited.
Premium, fresh, never ever frozen tenderloin, hand battered and cooked to order. Doesn't exactly need to brag now, does it?
Mitchell McSweeney is a Raising Cane's super fan and a recent MSU graduate.
I was one of the first 100 customers at their Cincinnati location, and I 100% will be one of the first 100 customers at the East Lansing location.
Raising Cane's has a limited menu that includes chicken tenders, chicken sandwiches, crinkle cut fries, coleslaw, lemonade, and Texas toast.
But if they're open late, I'm sure that MSU students would love to take advantage of Raising Cane's chicken at 2 a.m. after they get out of the bars.
The new restaurant, which will be located off of MAC Avenue in East Grand River, is trying to open by the fall semester. Until then, students will just have to wait. Raising Cane's has actually confirmed that other areas they're looking at include Novi and Grand Rapids to set up some stores within the next couple of years. In downtown East Lansing, I'm Nathan Stearns reporting for Focal Point News. Brian, back to you.
Thanks, Nathan. We've seen some pretty crazy weather this week. We've seen snow, we've seen rain, and it even got up to 40 degrees. Who knows what to expect next week? Deborah Marshall is live at the weather wall. How's it looking, Deborah?
Thank you, Brian. It definitely looks like we're going to see more consistent weather for this next week, and we might even get a little sunshine. Let's have a look. Now, looking across the nation, I know if you're anything like me, you're counting down the days until spring break. Now, it is a little rainy in Miami and partly cloudy in Orlando, but regardless of where you are in Florida, it's going to be the upper 70s. Now, if you like your sunshine and you need your vitamin D, you definitely want to be out west along the coast this Friday afternoon with low 40s up in Washington and mid 50s down south, where if you ask me, it's definitely better than what we're seeing up in the northern states. It's literally -3 degrees in Duluth. We have 16 degrees in Grand Rapids, 17 in Lansing, and 22 in Detroit. Now for current conditions. In East Lansing, we have light snow this morning at 20 degrees, Grand Rapids 20 degrees, partly cloudy, Detroit 24 cloudy, and Mount Pleasant partly cloudy at 17 degrees. Friday, we have 26, Saturday 34, 33 on Sunday, 34 on Monday. We rise up to the 40s on Tuesday and Wednesday and drop right back down at 33 on Thursday. That's a look at weather, Asia. Will this Michigan winter ever end? That's all we have for weather. Stay warm, you guys. We've only got one more week until school's spring break. Back to you at the desk.
The Peanut Shop, a staple in the downtown Lansing community, is celebrating a new milestone. The Peanut Shop opened its doors in February of 1937, and 85 years later, it is still going strong. The only difference is the new management. The Meisler family opened the shop and ran it until recently selling it to Adam Seaburn and Aaron Larvick. One of the things that drew Larvick to taking over the Peanut Shop was the undeniable sense of family and community.
They enjoy themselves here. They have a good time. They talk about their parents taking them here when they were little kids, or their grandparents in many instances when they were little kids. It's really an iconic business.
Seaburn and Larvick appreciate the traditions of the Peanut Shop and want to keep the shop true to how it's always been, with the addition of a new website in the near future.
Michigan State Federal Credit Union began construction of a new office in downtown Lansing. While construction takes place, you might see some local art being displayed. 38 colorful panels have been installed along the gates of the construction site. The bright art was created by K-12 students from East Lansing High School and Stepping Stones Montessori. East Lansing's Downtown Development Authority, MSFCU, and local schools made this possible.
Few of them have started like emailing and texting me like, I just drove by. So it's cute, like slowly they're starting to all see them and go see like which fence they did. And
the art will continue to be displayed on the building until construction finishes in 2023.
A new local comedy club is already struggling to stay open. Focal Point's Bria Crawford tells us what they are doing to keep the punchlines rolling.
It seems like no one is laughing here right now.
They know what our financial, status is in regards to how we are putting this together. And so, when it comes down to it, they just don't want us here.
Amaru opened the Funniest Funny Comedy Club just 4 months ago, but the bad jokes keep coming.
Then we were hitting other little bumps in the road because when we opened the doors here, the HVAC system didn't work. I had to borrow my grandmother's heaters and give her a couple blankets.
With the Lansing Township officials enforcing the new building requirements, Amaru turned to the community for help.
Because we went to the public for donations as well as some investments and our own money.
This is the donor wall, where the higher your name is placed, the more money you've donated. It's been a hard 2 years. The pandemic has taken a toll on business and ourselves. Seems like everyone could use some good humor. And that's why there is a Funny is Funny comedy club in Lansing.
As long as this place is open, it's going to help the community, and helping the community is what everything's about.
It's important to laugh, so that's pretty much it.
From Lansing, Michigan, I'm Bria Crawford, Focal Point News.
If you're ever in the mood for some laughs, check out funnyisfunnycomedyclub.com for events and times.
Speaking of comedy, there are some new releases coming out that will definitely make you laugh. It's all about Maisel, Mean Girls, and Melanine. This week, Elena Raybon with this week's entertainment report.
I'm Maylin Lee. I wear what I want, say what I want, 24/7, 365. I know, it's a lot. But I don't got time to mess around. This is gonna be the best year ever. And nothing's gonna get in my way.
Meet Maylin as she tackles youth, identity, relationships.
Let's go. Look at me! Stay back!
Oh, and the fact that she turns into a red panda.
What did you say?
Available on Disney Plus on March 11th, 2022.
Mrs. Maisel, time to start the show.
I think it's time to start the show.
The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel returned to Amazon Prime for its 4th season on February 18th. Unfortunately for Mrs. Maisel fans out there, you'll have to wait if you want to binge the entire season. Amazon Prime has ditched the entire season dump and instead will be adding 2 episodes a week until the season finale is released on March 11th.
Thank you and good night!
Until then,
welcome to North Shore High.
If you're looking for a show,
I want to talk about Mean Girls.
Consider heading to the Wharton Center. You won't find just another regular musical, but a cool musical.
Now that's a party.
A revenge party, a party that ends with somebody's head on a spike.
Mean Girls will be in East Lansing from Tuesday, March 1st through the 6th. Check out showtimes and ticket prices at whartoncenter.com.
Tune in next week for an interview with a Mean Girls cast member who talks about her experience touring with the show. Mean Girls opens on Tuesday, March 1st. Tickets can be purchased at thewhartoncenter.com.
Potter Park Zoo doesn't ice its guests out during the winter. In fact, they bring in some pretty cool attractions. See what they have to offer next.
Black History Month to me means we should focus on futurism and progress and also recognition. A lot of times Black history is seen slavery, starting at slavery, ending with slavery, and there's like a lot of trauma behind that, and we shouldn't really be celebrating that. I think that this Black History Month, rather than talking about slave narratives or slavery in the United States, we should focus on Black futurism. I think that particularly white people in the United States could probably at times benefit from talking less and listening more. Listen to your Black friends, listen to Black people who aren't your friends. This month is about visibility, this month is about recognition. This month, let's take some time to focus on futurism and educating ourselves, and just make sure to love each other.
Welcome back to Focal Point. I'm McCoy Scribner with the latest in MSU sports. It was another hard week for the men's basketball team as they lost their third consecutive game, this time to number 25 Iowa. The Spartans were down by 14 at halftime, and they could not recover as Keegan Murray recorded 28 points, leading the Hawkeyes to their 9th win in the conference. The Spartans find themselves in trouble as they drop to 7th place in the conference standings.
When you lose some games, there gets to be a feeling of team giving up, team doing this. We're so far from that, it's scary. All we're focused on now is the next game.
Well, MSU has a chance for a bounce-back week with 2 games, including one against Michigan. But the Wolverines will be without head coach Juwan Howard. Howard was suspended this week for 5 games after he swung and hit a Wisconsin assistant coach. The fight began when Howard and Wisconsin coach Greg Gard exchanged words in the handshake line, and tempers flared into a bust-up involving many members of both programs. Michigan's Moussa Diabate and Terrence Williams were both suspended 1 game. Tom Izzo gave his thoughts this week.
First weekend of no football and a chance for basketball to take the limelight, and it was a scary situation. The reason for it all, what I saw, I have no idea. I just hope that everybody learns from it.
Juwan Howard was also fined $40,000. His suspension lasts 5 total games, which is the rest of the regular season. Speaking of Michigan versus Michigan State, the women's programs played last night in Ann Arbor. Remember, in the first meeting of the season, MSU pulled off the big upset when Michigan was ranked number 6. Let's start by taking a look in the first quarter, where we have Tamara Farquhar gets the rebound off Nia Cloud's miss and dishes it out to Dee Dee Hageman, who opens the scoring with a wide-open 3. Second quarter now, Michigan's Amy Dilk finds Maddie Nolan with a great pass, and she converts the 3 to put the Wolverines ahead before halftime. In the second half, the Spartans were looking for a spark to get back in the game. In comes Nia Cloud, who takes on 4 defenders to get the basket. It would not be enough for MSU as Michigan made a 13-point lead following Isabel Verajao's uncontested layup. Michigan ends taking the win 62-51 with the win over the Spartans.
We didn't, you got to hit open shots on the road, you know, and I thought the right people were taking them. We just didn't get enough of it.
So no season sweep of the Wolverines for MSU. The Spartans have their last game of the season on Sunday versus Ohio State. Tickets for senior day at the Breslin Center are $1. Tip-off is at 2:30. Now to the mat at Jensen Fieldhouse for the senior night matchup against Central Michigan with alumni in attendance. The 133-pound senior Rayvon Foley helped the Spartans early with a 15-4 major decision, putting Michigan State up 7-0. Later in the matchup, Lane Malcheski narrowly avoids getting pinned before flipping around and pinning Central Michigan's Ben Cushman for the comeback win, putting the Spartans up 16-12. Michigan State would finish with a 19-17 victory over the Chippewas.
Well, got to fight off the back first, obviously. Got that done. Got a reversal with little time left. And then right from there, coaches just told me to keep it calm. I've been here before. I can always come back from anything and chip away. And luckily something happens, goes my way. And I took full advantage of it and it worked my way. So that was good.
Hockey has been struggling. They have lost 10 straight in a weekend series with Notre Dame. Senior Mitchell Lewandowski returned from injury and was back in the lineup for the first time since December 30th. He got in the action right away with a quick pass to junior forward Eric Mindorf, who slammed it past Notre Dame goaltender Matthew Galida to give Michigan State a 1-0 lead. Second period now, Notre Dame throws a puck on net and it's tipped in by Hunter Strand to tie the game at 1. Final period, Strand rips a pass to Landon Slaggert, who nets the goal to give Notre Dame a 2-1 lead. The score would hold there on Friday, and the Spartans lost Saturday too, bringing their losing streak to 12 games.
You know what, the guys did some good things and played a heck of a game on Friday night, and you know, I think outshot and outplayed a pretty good Notre Dame team. I thought Saturday we weren't quite as good. I didn't think we were as physical. Is probably the biggest difference, and that made Notre Dame look a little bit faster on Saturday than they looked on Friday.
And the hockey team will close the regular season with 2 games against Penn State at home. Puck drop tonight is scheduled for 7 p.m. It's a big weekend for track and field as they head to Geneva, Ohio to compete in the Big Ten Conference Championship. Last week, the men's distance medley relay team broke the school record in South Bend and will look to continue their form tomorrow. The MSU softball season remains underway as they head to Boca Raton to play in the FAU Strikeout Cancer Tournament hosted by Florida Atlantic University. Game 1 against FAU is scheduled for 6:30 tonight. And the baseball team is playing at Abilene Christian this weekend in a 4-game series. They're coming off a series against UNLV where they went 3-1. Abilene is 1-3 on the season after their series with North Dakota State. First pitch is at 5:05 today. That's what's happening in sports this week. I'm McCoy Scribner.
Going to the zoo is a staple during the summer, but you definitely shouldn't give Potter Park Zoo the cold shoulder during the winter. For today's Focal Point finale, Nyla Highlands takes us to Potter Park Zoo to introduce us to some frozen friends.
When you think of visiting the zoo, you may think summertime.
A lot of times don't know that we're even open in the winter.
But here at the Potter Park Zoo, not only is it open, but the zoo's Carolyn Farbo says some animals enjoy it more than when it's warm.
A lot of our North American animals are more active. It's just something that they're able to do to break up the monotony of a Michigan winter.
We always hear that art is temporary, and that couldn't be the case more today.
It's a surprisingly beautiful and sunny day for winter in Michigan, but not for these ice sculptures behind.
The sun is shining, it's warm.
Warm for Michigan, right?
Yeah.
The ice safari, even when warm temperatures make it drip a bit, is an opportunity for families to get out and enjoy the zoo during the colder months.
We came out to see all the ice sculptures and all the animals that would be out.
Scott Miller has been carving ice for 40 years.
Miller Ice Sculptures is my business, so they called me about doing something like this in the winter. They don't usually do much in the winter.
In fact, he's carved and chopped 28 ice sculptures in 2 weekends at the zoo.
It's culinary art. I worked at Lansing Country Club in the kitchen.
You might think that carving a pony out of a block of ice would be Scott's favorite thing, but he'll tell you what he enjoys most are the people who come to watch.
I like interacting with the audience. I love giving out that ice to little kids. It's just a little scrap piece of ice. They're fascinated.
It's a cold present coming from a warm heart. In Lansing, Michigan, Nyla Hollins, Focal Point News.
For more exciting events that you can enjoy year-round, visit potterparkzoo.org. I don't know what's cooler, a real snow leopard or an ice one.
Well, the ice leopard definitely doesn't bite, that's for sure. Well, that's our show for this morning. We hope you have a great week. I'm Brian Goldsmith.
And I'm Asia Lawrence. We leave you with the sounds of the Black History Month concert by the Color Me Music Student Group.